We're joined now by Marie Merkel. Marie is again a candidate for Scranton School Board. Thanks for joining us. And Marie is also cross-filed on both the Republican and the Democratic ballots. So we'll get right into the questions, Marie. And the first one deals with that which makes the world go round, and that's money. So equitable funding from the state continues to be an issue. Please share your knowledge of the issue and describe how you can impact this as a school director.
Equitable funding is very, very important across the state, especially in districts that it has not been very equitable for, because we have a very diverse district, and I can see where some schools do not get the same thing that they should be, and every child should have equitable educational opportunities, and they can only have that when the funding is equitable for every school and every child.
Okay. The second question, an equally important topic, is safety. So what is the role the school board plays in ensuring the safety of our children?
The school board would review and vote and have discussion on any safety issues that are involved in the schools, have the reports from the safety officers in the schools and the principals, and then be able to implement, hopefully vote on any implementations that needed to be implemented in the schools to ensure the safety of our children and staff at all times.
Okay. So this next one, Marie, is a two-part question. Closing a school is a hard decision to make. So the first part is, what factors should be considered when you have to vote on a school closure? And the second part is, what factors should you not consider in making your decision when you vote on a school closure?
The things you should consider are, you should not consider emotional things. If you have emotional ties to a building and things like that, if it's maybe something that you just don't want to see happen because it's just not a good thing, because it's an emotional tie. But you need to look at you need to look at all the issues involved with the school. Is it feasibly good to keep it open, and you really want to keep those neighborhood schools because smaller classroom sizes do help children, especially at the elementary level, learn better when they're in smaller schools, so that's very, very important. But it's also important to make sure the schools are up to code and are ADA compliant, and there's room that they can have the educational opportunities that every other child in the district would have.
Okay. The next question, also a two-part question. Lots of questions come up about transportation, and when I'm talking about that, I'm meaning just about getting kids back and forth to school, that's all. So discuss any changes that you believe are needed to the district's policies on transportation for students, and then also let us know what factors you believe need to be considered when voting for change.
A lot of parents in this area don't have cars. And they may not have a driver's license, things like that. So if it's too far for a child to walk to school safely, they need transportation by the district. And that's a very important thing, because we want our children to arrive at schools safely and without any harm or any worries about getting them to school. If the district needed to implement more transportation, then the safety of the children has to be first and foremost. And we want the parents to feel comfortable with the schools and having their children be there. And we also want the parents to feel that we feel their child's needs are important.
Okay. All right. So the next one, the overall topic on this one is about banning something, okay? And also a two-part question. So what should go into a process or a decision if a call to ban books or critical race theory or anything else that might be floated up to the school board from whatever direction it comes? So what should go into a process or decision for that? And then the second part is, are these decisions up to the board?
I don't feel they should be up to the board, because education is, the teachers are teaching what they should be teaching in the classrooms. Parents already have that option if they don't want their child to do something, like with testing and things like that. But as long as it's fulfilling the curriculum in the school and things like that. It should be up to the teachers, and children should have that access to learn many different things. There's so many different facets to our world, and it can't be, and I don't feel it should be up to school board members, because every school board member does not understand always what's in the curriculum. So I feel that the educators are the professionals.
Okay. I have one more question for you. This one has a little bit of an intro first, okay?
Okay.
So, per legislation that was passed in April 2022, the Pennsylvania Department of Education must integrate culturally relevant and sustaining education competencies into educator-teacher preparation, induction, and continuing professional development no later than the 23-24 academic year. There are 9 competencies, and I'm not going to read them all because they have really long names, but they're focused on your cultural lens, equitable and differentiated opportunities, culturally relevant learning, microaggressions, things like that. That's what's covered in this particular legislation. So the first part of the question is, what impact do you think that this legislation does or will have, both on our teachers and our students? And then the second part is, what role will the school board have to play in ensuring compliance with this Pennsylvania law?
It's going to have a big impact on the teachers and the children, because the teachers are going to have some type of training if they didn't have some of this already, especially the teachers that have been in the classroom for a while. They may have to have workshops and maybe webinars, things like that, to help them get up to par on different things. And the school board is going to have to be understanding of what this is, and then it may involve having training and things like that for the teachers. And to think outside the box sometimes with some of the things that you're going to do in the classroom. It's not going to be just a lesson. It may be an activity that's going to involve those things, which is just as important as teaching from a textbook.
Okay. So Marie, that ends the time that I have for questions for you, but you have 2 minutes for a closing statement. You can speak to the voters about your campaign, your platform, or any topic that we have not covered.
I am a retired teacher. I taught special education for 35 years, middle school and high school. And my 3 children graduated from the Scranton School District through West Scranton, from preschool through 12th grade. And my focus to run for school board is for the best interest of the children and the students in the district, but not only that, to make sure that everybody that has contact with our children is qualified and everybody has the same opportunities and is trained and things like that. And I also believe that everybody should have the same educational opportunities across the district, and hopefully to get back maybe our preschools, our libraries, and any other programs we may have lost with funding and things like that, to try to make sure that our children are well-rounded and prepared for whatever they do upon graduation. And that families and schools can continue to work together, because the school that works together with the families is the best type of learning environment that we can have.
All right, thank you. That concludes our time with Marie Merkel. Again, Marie is a candidate for Scranton School Board, and she is cross-filed on both the Republican and the Democratic tickets. So voters registered in either party will be able to cast their ballot for her on May 16th. Marie, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate this opportunity.